Hello everyone, this is Kent Smith, and this is my assignment on learning environments. To begin with, I wanted to talk about what I consider an effective learning environment based on my teaching style and the type of classes that I teach. I do a lot of project-based and activity-based teaching, and I'm in a science department, so labs are very important to me as well. So adequate workspace for the students to work on those projects and activities and labs. That's definitely one of the big things for me. Grouping for collaborative work. I also like to use group projects a lot, so I need to be able to put students together in groups for them to work together. Proximity and the ability to move around the classroom. I move all the time. I don't stand up in the front, so I need to have enough space to be able to move around, and that goes into proximity, being close to the students. And that leads into the minimizing green zones. So in my references, you'll see Martin listed there. The one thing that I really took out of the references, he talks about zones for behavior. So the red zone is that zone right around the teacher where students are on their best behavior, they're paying attention, they know the teacher is going to see them, so they don't misbehave a lot. You want to maximize those zones. The yellow zone, students think they can get away with a little bit more, maybe this teacher doesn't see me, maybe I can get away with some more. Well, the green zones are where students think I can get away with pretty much anything because the teacher's not gonna catch me, right? So for me, if I can design a classroom where I minimize the green zones, again, that goes back to proximity, then they're more attentive, they're paying attention to me, and I don't have the disruptions and I don't have the behavior issues that I could have if there was a large green zone. And then ability for students to see the media screens and the whiteboards. I use a lot of multimedia and a lot of online stuff when we do things up on the projector. So I need everyone to be able to see what we're doing on the screens and the whiteboards. And then last, I need flexibility. I don't have it in my current classroom, you'll see that in a minute, but I do like having some flexibility where we can move things around. So here is a traditional classroom. This is a social studies classroom in our school. Rows and columns, teacher up front. Obviously it gives you more control, less distractions for the students, but you also end up with less interaction, so that'd be a con. For me, so this is very teacher focused, it's not very student focused. Still allows for movement, allows you to get some proximity, not quite as easily as if they're groups of tables because you can hit more students at the same time, but but it does give you some space. So some of the cons: not any space for projects or group work unless you pull the chairs together. But the way it's set up right now, it wouldn't be. But you can always put them into a circle to do like a Socratic seminar. Like that flexibility. That's the movable seating. That is actually a pro for me. And minimizing those distractions. So I think it maximizes learning by keeping students focused and minimizing their distractions. And it's flexible. I think that also maximizes learning because it keeps kids engaged if you use it appropriately. If you just keep it the way it is right there in the picture, I don't think it's as effective. And then we have my classroom. So this is a stock photo from, it was a better picture than what I could get from when they actually did the renovation a couple of years ago. They're stationary lab tables. They seat 6, which is what we have in our classes right now. It would be most effective, and they work better when there are 4 students at a table. They have more than enough room to work. They have some space, but they still interact. The 6 at a table gets a bit crowded. They're great workspaces for projects in the labs and small group work. They're also great for me for movement because you see the big aisle down the middle, and on the sides of the classrooms I can get around. But they do give some green zones with the laptops because that kidney shaped, you can get 2 students. If you look on either side of the faucets there, kids could be facing each other and I wouldn't be able to see what they had on their media. Everybody can see. I have lots of windows. It does have less control, a few more distractions. It's not exactly flexible, but I do think it's great for group work, which would maximize learning. I'd like to see movable tables, and I'd like to be able to teach from all sides of the classroom. And lastly, here's my references. Like I said, Martin, 2015. That is the reference that I talked about with the zones, with the red, yellow, and green zone. And that's probably the biggest thing that I took out of this assignment, was getting those zones and really paying attention to the proximity. So thanks for listening.